When I was editing the video, Dafuq Boom posted 3 new spoilers. In them, we saw an upgraded G-Man, the TV Titan with a barely noticeable smiley face, and of course, Astro Juggernaut. Each of the spoilers contained letters, and when you put them all together, you get the phrase 2 steps ahead. For those who don't know, let me briefly explain that this phrase became iconic after the release of a video on Nikocado Avocado's channel. In short, this person was very overweight, but then suddenly became thin. And in the video, he talks about how he's been losing weight for the past 2 years, even though his channel was still releasing pre-recorded videos that he had made in bulk before starting his weight loss journey. Since Boom is using this phrase here, it means that the TV Titan's plan is incredibly genius, and it seems like he made some moves in the past that will help him defeat his opponent in the present. However, since all 3 characters are featured in the spoiler, it's unclear who exactly is 2 steps ahead. If it weren't for G Toilet, I'd assume it was the TV Titan, but knowing how cunning G-Man is, I'm almost certain he's the one 2 steps ahead of everyone. While others have short-sighted victory plans, G-Man has almost always had a plan B and more well-thought-out strategies, which is why he constantly manages to survive. I'll even say more, I have a theory about his plan and what exactly he's going to do, which I'll explain in more detail in the next video. Also, just so you know, I made this entire video, except for this paragraph, before I saw the spoilers. However, I didn't change anything because what I said is still relevant, and the spoilers don't contradict anything I'll discuss later. Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here, and on your screens is a breakdown of everything we currently know about the upcoming 4th part of episode 77. The thing is, Dafuq Boom shared important information with EBO75. I also plan to ask Mr. Boom more questions about the plot, but not right now. So feel free to suggest your questions in the comments and hit like if you want this video to come out as soon as possible. And to make sure you don't miss important breakdowns or exclusives, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's easy for you, and it means the world to me. Anyway, here we go. So, here's what Boom said. The 4th part will be longer than the 3rd one. It's his favorite part of episode 77. The episodes take so long to release because creating epic battles takes an enormous amount of time and effort. Dafuq has been trying to assemble a team for a long time, but each time he has to redo someone else's animation from scratch. The next part will be delayed due to SFM bugs. He remembers promising to release episodes more frequently and is working on it, but it's not that simple. And finally, we'll see the 4th part within the next 2 weeks, if SFM doesn't bug out again. Well, Dafuq's response holds quite a few interesting details, so let's break them down one by one. The 4th part will be longer than the 3rd. Let me remind you that the 3rd part lasted almost 5 minutes, so we can expect 6 or even 7 minutes, like in episode 74. I'd also like to add some recent answers from Boom in Discord, as they also relate to the 4th part. We're interested in the following answer. Juggernaut will fight very soon. Considering that in the 3rd part we saw Juggernaut intending to battle the TV Titan, and since their intentions are mutual, it's logical to assume that this battle will indeed take place, and won't end with the Titan teleporting back to the base at the beginning of the episode. This means we shouldn't expect a record-breaking episode length, as it will focus on the fight between the Titan and Juggernaut, and creating such an animation takes a lot of time. The 4th part will be the best. Dafuq has already mentioned that he finds episode 77 the most interesting, followed by episodes 80 through 90. He also said that this episode will feature an unexpected plot twist that we haven't seen yet. In my opinion, it's clearly not the return of the Cameraman Titan, as Boom always saves the most interesting part for the finale, and the 4th part is supposed to be the final part of the episode. Dafuq also said we'd see the mothership in action, but as for the Duchess, he mentioned that she would return soon, but not too soon. Considering we've already seen the promised appearance of Juggernaut, it's possible that we'll also see the mothership in this episode or at the end of it. However, this wouldn't be the unexpected twist either. So, what could it be? The return of the Cameraman Titan? Well, we already know from the UFO's dialogue with the Duchess that he survived and shook off the Astro, so that wouldn't be much of a surprise. Then, could it be the return of the Speaker Titan? Both yes and no. On one hand, repairing his severe damage in such a short time would be miraculous. On the other hand, we haven't seen much of the Speaker Men lately. nor upgrades for their Titan. He's the only one in his faction who hasn't undergone a full upgrade yet. Perhaps, all this time, the speaker men have been developing parts for rapid field repair of their Titan, as well as upgrades that, if not equaling his power to the Cameraman and TV Titans, would at least unlock his speed potential. We've already seen what Astro's lightning-fast units can do against the TV Titan and DJ's speakers. The return of Speaker Titan 3.0 and a victory over Juggernaut would indeed be the plot twist Dafuq hinted at. Alternatively, we could be facing a more tragic fate. We might witness the death of both the TV Titan and the Cameraman Titan, returning to help his comrades. We've already seen his willingness to sacrifice himself in episode 74, and a repeat of that wouldn't be surprising, making it another potential plot twist. However, it's unlikely that the TV Titan's plan was to die meaninglessly on the battlefield, something he criticized the Cameramen for. So if the Cameraman Titan does show up, the TV Titan would likely teleport him away immediately, unless he too is eager to fight, as their chances together would be much higher. Let's move on to the topic of episode creation and team building for it. It's no secret that with each episode, the complexity of the animation has increased, and with it, the time required to produce an episode. People unfamiliar with SFM have long suggested that Boom form a team, naively believing that 10 animators would produce an episode 10 times faster. There are several problems with this assumption. First, all the animators would have to be on Dafuq's level, and those can be counted on one hand. Second, no one is immune to simple misunderstandings, as only Dafuq Boom knows exactly what kind of episode he wants to create in the end, which would mean revisions here and there. And here lies the main issue. SFM is so buggy that even changing anything in your own project is risky. And when there are several projects, the problems only multiply several times over. A great example of this is a video titled How It Feels to Suffer in SFM Key Behind the Scenes by an animator named Lazy Purple, which I highly recommend watching to understand how difficult it is to work in SFM. So, why doesn't Dafuq just switch to Blender, you may ask? For the same reason most of you write or use a mouse with your right hand instead of your left, it would take an unreasonable amount of time to retrain in a new program, during which a large portion of the current audience would lose interest in the series. This would mean lost viewers and income for Boom. So even if a full team is created someday, working in SFM won't allow episodes to be produced quickly. Even Dafuq has to redo everything from scratch due to bugs and unsatisfactory animation quality. Thus, Dafuq is left with only one option: to change the content of the episodes themselves. He needs to make them simpler and shorter without losing the interest factor. As you can imagine, this isn't easy. And Dafuq has stated that this is exactly what he plans to do. Therefore, after episode 77, we can expect episodes in a new, unfamiliar format. We can only hope this won't negatively affect the series, as interest in it has already been waning recently. Expectations for episodes released every 3 weeks have become incredibly high, which has left many viewers disappointed with the episodes themselves. Of course, Boom is aware of everything that's happening with his series and is responding to it, as he is invested in keeping us excited for the release of each new episode. And the last answer for today: the episode will be released within 2 weeks. Let me remind you that the third part came out 2 weeks ago, so this time the wait could last a whole 4 weeks instead of the usual 3. Why is that? Let's refer to previous answers. Dafuq said that this will be the most epic part of episode 77, and as per another answer, we're in for a full-scale, prolonged battle between the TV Titan, Juggernaut, and at least 3 Astro units that arrived with him. Mr. Boom also mentioned that this episode would be longer than the previous one, more than 5 minutes. By my estimate, 6 or 7. Therefore, we have a very long and complex episode to animate, so it's no surprise it's taking so much time to produce. Personally, I'm expecting an epic on the level of episode 73 and believe that the wait will be worth it. One more thing. Dafuq Boom said he didn't take a break after creating the second part, which he made in 3 weeks. So the fourth part would require him to work for 7 weeks straight without rest. I think he'll take a short break during the production of this episode, or he might make a final push and rest afterward. And let's not forget about SFM. You never know when it's going to destroy your project. That's the end of my breakdown. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future ones, and share your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget about my game Toilet Run. An update with new chests and unique character abilities is coming soon. The link is in the description, and I'd be happy if you download it. See you later.